Something that I hear a lot is that real estate agents don't believe that farming works anymore. Direct mail is old school, it's outdated. You should be spending all your time on the internet, and I'm calling that a load of crap. And I'll tell you why. Because about 4 years ago in my business, I decided that I wanted to farm a specific area of my city. So I live in Toronto, Canada, and it's a big city. Toronto is 7.5 million people, but the core of the city is about 3.5 million people. And at the time, I was focusing on condo building. So I started small. I started with a zone of about 2,000 condo units, and I would send flyers every single month. And then it was starting to work, and I started getting calls, and then it kept building from there. And then I did 5,000. And now every single month, our team sends 10,000 flyers to 10,000 individual condo units. But this strategy would work with regular freehold housing as well. And it's working. We're getting listings from it. So what I want to talk about in today's video is what you need to do if you want to actually implement direct mail into your business in 2023. Yes, online is great. Yes, email is great. Yes, all that stuff is great. YouTube, like I'm a massive proponent of doing YouTube. I think that's like the number one thing. But if you want to look at different ways to create new business opportunities, especially in a market that it's not going to be the same amount of sales that happened before. Like 2021 is going to be an outlier year for a long time. Here's what I think you need to know about direct mail. First things first is that you have to know the turnover rate. So when you're picking the area that you want to send direct mail to, you have to know how often are homes actually selling. And what you do to figure out the turnover rate is figure out how many homes are in that specific community, how many homes you're going to hit with a mailer every single month. And you look in the last 12 months, how many of those properties sold. And then you divide that by the number of homes that are there, and it will give you a percentage. Now, a good turnover rate is anywhere from 10 to 12%. That's really good. A typical turnover rate is probably like 6%. Townhouses turn over a lot more than larger homes because it's usually like that stepping stone to get to the family home in the future. So townhouse areas, I think, are really, really good. Once you know your turnover rate, then you want to figure out, well, what's the average sale price in the area? So you take a look at all the sales over the last 12 months and figure out the average sale price. Then do the math based on whatever the typical commission is in your area. How much total commission was up for grabs in the last 12 months? Do the selling side and the buying side. Now you know, okay, what percentage of that market do you need to actually get to make it worth sending these flyers? After you know what the average commission is and you know what the turnover rate and the average sale price is, then you have to do your research and see if there's anybody else already dominating that area. If there's an agent that's having 20% market share of the listings, it's going to be very, very hard to compete if they've been there for a long time. I'm not saying you shouldn't try, but if there's other areas you're focusing on, specifically for me, the reason why I went for the areas that I did is because there wasn't a specific agent that had all the market share. It was kind of spread out between everybody. And I was like, okay, there's an opportunity here. By the way, if you're this far into the video and you're finding it valuable, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Okay, we're going to start with a few things about direct mail. Number one, it is expensive. But number two, it generates listings. The calls I get on direct mail are for listings. I believe every real estate agent should wake up every single morning and pretend buyers don't exist and do everything they possibly can to find listings. This is another way to find listings. You have to send this at least once a month. Once every 2 weeks is actually a better strategy. You're not going to see the results that you're looking for 9 to 10 months. It could happen a little bit earlier. We had talked about finding an area with high turnover. Also, pick an area that you actually want to sell real estate in, that you're excited when you get calls to go to these houses. I found that keeping it simple with a clear message gets me the best results, and having a QR code. A QR code, which 10 years ago people thought had failed, but made a huge comeback during the pandemic. This is the way we're actually getting appointments. I'm going to show you how you got to do it. And at least for myself, I've noticed that market data performs best. Okay, I'm going to show you a few examples here of what's been working for me. Direct statements. Okay, so you can see on the left here, I send out this flyer that says, nobody cares about your condo. And you're like probably looking through your mail and you're like, what's this guy talking about here? And then you go down to the bottom, it says, as much as we do. When you flip it to the other side, it has specific downtown condo prices. It's showing them what's happened over a period of time. And I'm showing them data, right? I'm showing them something that they probably couldn't just Google. And even if they did, they'd have a hard time finding this data. And then you can see I got a QR code that says scan to learn more. The whole goal of sending these flyers is to get them to take their phone and scan this QR code. And I will show you in a second where this QR code takes them. Next up is another kind of statement flyer. The market has changed. You know what your property is worth. And on the back of the flyer, it says scan to find out. This will also take them to my appointment page. At this point in the video, you're probably thinking, Tom, this sounds expensive and sounds like you're not going to get results for a while. And I will say that if you haven't already got your repeat and referral figured out, or you haven't looked at YouTube as an opportunity to find more business, or you don't have your strategic alliances, don't do this yet. But if you've gotten to a point in your business that you're getting repeat and referral, and you're getting realtor referrals and loan officer referrals and things like that, then I think you should seriously look at this, specifically because it gets you listings, and that is the most important thing. On to number 3. Now, in this example, we made it very clear. On one side, it says what our services are. We have a $10K interest-free home renovation loan. I can probably go into that in more detail in another video. We have a customized concierge service, and we have full home staging. We put the value on there. Now, on the other side, you can see here that I've broken down based on different areas that I'm sending this flyer to, and I'm showing them average price, median price, how many sales happen, and the days on market. So I'm giving them the data so that they're interested in what's happening, and they know that I'm the guy. And what I've noticed from doing this too, because I actually literally this morning before filming this video, I had a listing presentation from someone that reached out for one of these flyers. I walked into their property. They literally had a stack of my flyers on their table. It's your way of showing that you're the authority. And even though I had sold a lot of condos in that specific building, the one I went to today, the first time they called me on the phone, they went like, we know you're the guy around here that sells all the properties. Can you come take a look at ours and let us know what it's worth? And that just shows how powerful this can be, but you can't give up on it. Just like video, you do this for 3 months and you give up, it's never going to work. You do this for a year, give up, it's not going to work. I'm 4 years in it took a while, but we're averaging from these type of flyers anywhere between 15 to 20 additional listings per year. Like, the return on investment is still worth it. Yes, it's expensive. It's more expensive than all the other types of marketing, but it works if you're willing to be consistent with it. Example number 4 is just, again, showing you all the data that you would ever need to know. I actually think this one's a bit too cluttered for me. I probably wouldn't send this one again, but the whole point is they flip it around and they scan that QR code. You might be thinking, okay, well, what happens when they scan that QR code? And I am glad that you asked. It takes them here. This is my Calendly page. And they can book a seller consultation, they can book a discovery call, or they can book a buyer consultation. When they book the seller consultation, it will ask them specific questions about their property, and it's linked with my calendar directly. So sometimes I will literally wake up and I'll look at my phone and be like, oh, I got a listing presentation this week. That's pretty cool. And it's all because of these flyers. What I've noticed is that people believe these flyers don't work anymore, but I'm calling bogus on that. This type of marketing does work if you're willing to do it consistently, have patience with it, and execute on the idea every single month. I'd love to know in the comments if anyone is having success with direct mail marketing, because it's been a big portion of my business and a good percentage of where our new listings come from every single year on our team. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Tom, and I'll see you next week.